There's a basic understanding. Yoga has steps, and each step fruits and leads to another step naturally. You practice some simple practice, and it will, over time, bear fruit, and something will open up. The next stage will open up naturally, whatever that is for you. And meditation in Sanskrit, dharana, is the fruit of contemplation, of dharana. You can't just jump straight to meditation. Nobody can practice meditation. What you do is you practice a technique, and with time, that technique will fruit and lead to dhyana, and then lead to samadhi, which is the fruit of meditation. And then samadhi leads to something else, so it goes on and on, fruiting. But contemplation is very important in yoga. You have to choose a subject to contemplate, obviously. Yep. So something, whatever you're interested in. Something from your heart is the best, something you're attracted towards. If you just choose something that you're not really interested in, your mind's not going to go there, is it? It's going to want to flit off onto something else. So they say there's a story of a guy sitting there meditating, and some girl is so in love with her lover, she's running to meet him because she hasn't got much time. And she trips over this guy, sitting there like this quietly. And he jumps up. "What do you think you're doing?" "I was meditating." He says, "I didn't even see you. I was focusing on my lover. How come you realize, you felt me brush against you?" In other words, if it comes from your heart, something you're attracted towards, then it's something you can focus on easily.
So it's contemplation, meditation, and like
Samadhi, which is where you become one with the object of your contemplation, yeah.
One example the other day was rescue, for example.
Exactement.
One example was the rescue. Compassion.
Compassion, which is a little bit harder, yes. Gratitude's a good one to start with because it's easy. Something you like.
water.
Water, yes. You can contemplate water with the elixir of life. Have a drink of water when you're thirsty. How good does it make you feel? Go for a swim. Have a shower. Water the garden, and then it grows fruits and vegetables which you can enjoy and eat. See the play of the clouds in the sky.
But is it something where I'm focusing when I practice or when I make yoga or meditation?
Anytime you like. Up to you. But you can sit and do it deliberately as a set practice. Or you can just, once you've established it, once you awaken it inside yourself, and it's good if you can find a spot to do it inside yourself. If you just do it up here, it gets mixed up with the ordinary thoughts. The mind keeps on thinking. It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Won't stop. But say you take your awareness to your heart and do it there, it's easier because it's separate from this old mind thinking. By having a place, they call it desha, having a place to do it. And then once you've learned to initiate that and awaken that within you, then you can do it any time. You've got to spare a minute. Instead of flicking on your phone, you can go to your contemplation.
But can I contemplate something for somebody else?
You could do if you want to. You can do anything. But to learn the practice, the beauty of yoga is you learn a practice, which doesn't mean in a situation that someone's telling you what to do. You learn the practice, you practice it on your own until you've accomplished it. It's like learning to butter bread. When you're a kid, you can't do it. You learn to do it, Then if you want to put peanut butter on a piece of bread, you can do it. Or you want to put jam on a piece of bread, you can do it. Once you learn how to spread one thing on a piece of bread. So yoga's like that. You just learn a practice, whatever it is, simple contemplation. Choose something that's really attractive to you, because it's easy for the mind to stay on that. And then learn to keep the mind. It flits off. You're aware that it flits off. You bring it back to that subject of contemplation. Gently, you don't go, oh, you bloody mind. Blah, blah, blah. Just, my mind's slipped off into thinking about something else. Okay, I'll come back to the practice. Come back to your centre. The breath, of course. Be aware that you're breathing. Bring up your subject or object of contemplation again. And continue diving deeper into it. And once you've learnt that, to do that, it's said for, a few minutes for a start. About 12 minutes is a good time. Once you can do that, then you can practice that with anything. And it's said that, say like these mobile phones, right? The people that invented these fantastic things, that's what they did. They thought about it. They focused, they contemplated it, thought about it this way, that way, upside down, front to back, week after week, month after month. They focused. Mind would flit off, they bring it back, and then they have a revelation. Intuition awakens inside. They say once your mind accurately reflects what it is you're contemplating, then your mind assumes the form of that, and then your intuition awakens and you get insight. Sometimes you get a vision of the way forward, in life, or you feel an awakening in your heart, or various can happen in different ways to different people. So basically that's contemplation. Start with something that you like, something you're attracted towards from your heart, not from your head.
Why this process? How do you feel? On which part is it your body, maybe your heart or another part, or your thought, your mind? How can you make this difference? Because for me, it's sometimes like I'm in a process, and one time I feel very creative and super free, but after I'm not sure. Okay, now is my creativity, or it is now my mind. So sometimes it's hard to make the difference. So, and with the example with the phone, which part is the creative, the heart thing, the feeling, the intuition, or and on which part is it the head, your mind, and only thinking?
It's so you don't know. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you feel it just arises, it's like an energy comes up and you get this, direction or, positive resolution, and you're pretty sure that it's intuition. Other times it might spring out of the mind. It doesn't matter. But when you apply it in your life, what you want is for something, say, to have some inspiration or some direction or some knowledge or some certainty on a certain subject. Then you apply it in your life and try it and see if it's accurate, see if it works, see if it's suitable. If it's not, doesn't matter. You keep practicing, and over time it'll come clearer. It's never going to be, nothing's ever 100%. Nothing's perfect. It'll always be changing and fluctuating. Sometimes nothing happens. But once the thing is to just learn and practice, basically learn it from someone or some book or something, and then practice it until you're able to do it, like anything else. Like walking. But that took a bit of time to learn how to walk, didn't it? Now we just walk, not a problem. Or eating, feeding yourself, took a little while. Now it's not a problem most of the time. So, but the beauty of contemplation is that you can, once you learn how to do it, then you can use it. It's another tool you have to use. rather than the mind being in control of you and just flip, 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 no, not really achieving anything. If you want to, you can practice contemplation on the subject of choice. Start with one from your heart that's easy for your mind to focus on. But once you've learned the practice, then you can contemplate anything. And the chances of it being successful are a lot higher with contemplation than just discursive. It's called discursive thinking, the usual mind. It just jumps around like a drunken monkey.
Oh,
It ends up a million miles away from where it started. That's the normal state of human consciousness, which is fine, sort of entertaining, fun. But you want to also develop contemplation so that you have that strength, that ability of mind to focus on something and hopefully have an awakening and some insight and direction.
And if it's hard every single time contemplate the same subject, it doesn't matter. Each time you can contemplate something different as soon as you like it, and then it's gonna work in the same way. Like it's probably, hopefully, gonna wake the intuition.
See.
Or better to choose one subject and day after day to keep with one.
For a start,
Like with the phone, for example.
Choose something from your heart and go into focus here. The heart's the best place. Focus there. And just that alone will awaken your heart, which is a benefit, positive benefit. And then once you're accomplished at the practice, you can just sit or anywhere, whatever, while you're walking or sitting or lying, it doesn't matter. But you can come to your heart, you can awaken your object of contemplation, and lovely. Nice. Excusez-moi. What? You saying something?
no, I was just saying remove my lamp because it's very stressful. Because
That's all. I forgive you this time, but while we're discussing this, if you wouldn't
I
mind.
was listening to you.
Yeah. No, we're recording, see, so. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. What?
You record?
Yeah.
Oh,
Twice.
So fear was the other part, wasn't it?
If contemplation can make you free from fear.
It's good if, with any yoga practice, if you have a clear idea of what you want to get from it from the start. Yeah.
yes.
So that's then you'll do it. Then you make sure the practice is appropriate to the end result you want to achieve. Like if you want to achieve relaxation, you're best to do relaxation technique and learn how to do that, how to relax. And then over time, you'll achieve the ability to relax at will. Yep. Or if you want to learn how to think clearly, practice contemplation. If you want to be more physically active, practice the active exercises. So it depends what you want as to what the practice is. So if fear is a problem, will contemplation remove the fear? Not the contemplation itself won't, but what will help is facing your fear.
So you need to contemplate your fear.
Not necessarily.
Like for example, if
That might be a
if
more advanced
contemplation-
stage.
contemplation of death, for example.
Yeah, that might be a bit more advanced to start with. Depends on your level of fear. Who's got some fear? Yeah. Well, the first step is facing it, isn't it? Because if you avoid it all the time, it's not going to get resolved. It's got power over you, in other words.
If something new for me, I feel scared. For example, I never been the window, so today I was doing that and I'm scared. Then there is a moment when we come with the glass, I was crying because I don't want to
Can't damage, but
I was crying.
you did it anyway. Yeah, you faced it.
Yes,
You didn't run away.
But like, so he was asking me what's wrong with me, so I was scared. Why? Something new.
Well, it's the facing it. That's the thing with fear. You accept it, you face it. I'm afraid of that. That's the first step. Face it. Don't run away.
Yes, I used to run away,
Yeah.
but I stopped here.
I mean, protect yourself. Don't be silly about it. And jump off a cliff just because you're afraid of it. But turn and face your fear is the first thing.
I touched the dog yesterday.
Wow. Well, that's
Like,
very good.
I tried.
And then, of course, your fear, if you have a fear of something, then you can carefully think, okay, I'm perfectly safe, everything's fine, there's nothing, and then bring that image up into your mind and see how you go. Watch your reactions and watch your mind. But before you do that, you really have to be established in the foundations of meditation, of contemplation, which are being able to relax the body completely, being able to follow the breath, and when your mind moves, to be able to just go, look at that. Okay. And then come back to the practice. You've got to master that technique first. It's a foundation. If you can't do that, then don't, jump into thinking about scary things. So yes, in an advanced stage, of course, you can move on to contemplating death. I used to have a skull by my bed, human skull, for a few years. And why? Yeah, it's good. Contemplate death. It's a part of yogic technique, but it's an advanced technique. You don't start with something like that, obviously. First of all, you have to learn how to relax your body. When you feel any tension, you go there, you relax consciously, follow your breath. And the third stage is when your mind flits off to something else, you're aware of it. My mind has moved to thinking about Harry. Okay. And then you come back to the breath. You let it go. Just relax, let it go. Check the body's relaxed, come back to the breath. And when you can do that for a period of, 12 minutes, then you're ready to start if you want to. And first of all, learn how to contemplate something positive, something you love, something nice, attractive. And once you've mastered those two things, then you can move on to contemplating whatever you like. Fear, whatever.
That's why we also have the small school of, a school of cat up there in yoga room in Casa Grande for contemplation.
School of
Cat, I believe, the small one like this next to the.
Oh, the skull of the cat. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, well, we could. People love cats. There's a cat skull up there.
And the bikers, they are in a way contemplating death. Like, they have a lot of schools everywhere on the helmet, on their bikes.
Oh, yes, that's right. These days, skulls are nothing, are they? They're everywhere. Not a problem. But yes, contemplation is a great thing. And especially if it's something that you, like, say you got free time, what are you going to do? If you've learnt the art of contemplation, you can take your awareness into your heart for a start, which is lovely, because there's all feelings in there of, unity, of love, of compassion, of friendliness, of openness, and then you can bring up your favourite subject, whatever that might be, and then, that's lovely, isn't it? If it's can be a person. Most people do that think about people, but people are a bit problematic because they change. Sometimes they love you, sometimes they don't. But something else, that you love. You know, the ocean or a river or trees or something. Cats. And just use it as a practice. Learn to do it, and then you can exercise it when and wherever you like.
Thank you.
Pleasure. I'll just mention what the yoga we were doing today. Not your yoga, but the other yoga. We did all morning. You know what you were doing this morning?
All 3 hours.
Well, whatever it was. Yeah.
Which yoga we were doing all 3 hours in a row in the morning.
That's yoga. It's called karma yoga. That's your karma.
That's all my life I have to do.
No, it just means action. Karma means action and reaction. So what we practice in the mornings is karma yoga. And the basic thing is you just leave the situation better than you found it. It's cleaner, tidier, nicer, painted beautifully. Garden is ready for things. That's karma yoga. In other words, you make a positive contribution and that you look back and, it's better than I found it. So you're on the positive side of the ledger. You're not a user and a taker. If everybody in the world just take, what's going to happen? It'll turn to shit. And that's what's happening. We're taking too much and not giving enough.
But I don't think too much when I'm doing this and
Yeah, well, it's a good chance to let your mind run. Up to you. Doesn't hurt. But just giving a little bit more than you take. And then you don't have to worry. You don't have to have a conscience and think, am I a rat bag or not? You've given a bit more than you take. You're on the positive side of the ledger. That's karma yoga. And if everybody does that, what's going to happen? If everyone gives a little more than they take,
That's for everyone.
Mother Nature, the whole world will improve over time. If everybody just take, they go out from grab, never give back.
I believe receive and give and receive. This is what I believe.
Exactly. But don't worry about other people or what they're doing, just for your own psyche. Because yoga is a lot about the psyche, it's all at the surface level, but most of the stuff is happening in a deep level in here and here and here and here. Very important that for your peace of mind, for your contentment, for happiness, that the psyche is got some positivity going on in there. So karma yoga, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We'll do it every day. Well, on the weekends even, you can get the broom, sweep the kitchen floor. Whatever. Something.
So how many type of yoga can you learn?
There's only 84,000. You can invent a new one. There'll be 84,001. But the basic yogas are for the different, see the chakras over there?
Yeah.
The different parts of the psyche. They represent the psyche, of course. The different parts of the psyche. So what's the blue one in the middle? The heart. So there's heart yoga. What's the yellow one? And the hara, in the abdomen, Manipur chakra. Solar is sun, which is, what's the sun do?
Fire.
Yeah. Energy. Energy yoga. Heart yoga. Energy yoga. Yeah. Lower down, the deeper one, Swadhisthana, the orange one, the sexual energy. Down at the base, security, whether you feel confident and secure and strong. They all work on the different levels of the sight. So there's different yogas for each one. But the basic, here's one basic premise you can remember. Head, heart and hand. Head, heart and hands. So what would happen if your head was thinking one thing, your hand was doing another, and your heart was somewhere else? You're not going to be content and happy. And that's often the case. We're working, doing something, we hate it, just have to do it for the money. Our head, where it got us into a situation that we don't love, tangled up with some person because we thought it was a good idea or something. And so when your head is moving in the right direction, you've thought clearly about things, sorted things out, you know how to contemplate, how to focus, how to get inspiration and direction. Your heart loves it. When you go into your heart, feelings of warmth and love and expansion. In your hand, you're doing the positive things that you enjoy doing. Then life can be complete and content and fulfilled. So that's what we're sort of aiming at. That's yoga. Yoga means union, doesn't it? Where it comes together. All the systems come together and they function harmoniously. That's yoga, and that's sort of what we're aiming for. So we look at all the different areas. Look at the mental side of things, psychic side of things, the heart side of things, the energy side of things, the deep primal side of things. And work on all those areas. Hopefully get them all integrated and working together.
I listen to
I was looking for his expression. You can't tell. You can't tell what he's thinking. You don't have to agree. Have your own ideas is a good idea. Take the best and leave the rest. Good for someone else. Yep. You may not agree with it or like it, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's suitable for somebody else. Leave it for them. Just take the best, leave the rest. That's the best. There's no right or wrong in it. What's right for one person is not suitable. It's not right or wrong, it's suitable. Whether it's suitable or it's not suitable. Whether it works for you or at this point in time it doesn't work for you. Fair enough. Do something else. So tomorrow, 9 o'clock, Karma Yoga.
It doesn't matter you like it or not. You do.
That's right.
Carries work.
Well, here you're making a positive contribution. All the people, hopefully this will go on for, setting it up so it'll go on for a long time. It's not just for me. And so the people that come after you will appreciate the work, enjoy the space, improvements that you've made.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. Look at this place. It was a rat hole when we first arrived. Nothing been done here for 20 years. Now people are coming and enjoying it. Same as up there.
And I didn't know that I would come back, so I noticed the big difference. Here and the others.
Now you can
Yes.
appreciation.
Especially up there, that place was that thick and pigeon poop and crap. Windows were broken, pigeons were living in there. Everything was black and mouldy and stinky. Oh, so you can thank your lucky stars that you've come now, not last year.
We already rolled the bear was like.
That's right.
Let's surprise the ones for the next year.
That's right. But you can always come back in a couple of years and enjoy the creme de la creme. But it's good building something from the ground up, isn't it? You know, being part of the.
Yes.
You don't just come along, everything's perfect. Nothing's perfect here, especially me. But you're coming along and you're being part of the creation, especially in the garden.
It's super wonderful that you found a person who truly enjoyed to make garden. Yeah.
That's so neat.
Mhm.
And is that just from other years? The stuff that's all like the tomatoes, or
No, I planted it.
that was this year?
Yeah, down the bottom I planted early, and then it's been raining, flooding, and that's why we're just getting a couple of lettuces. And then we planted up here just a month or so ago.
Very recent.
Yeah. Oh, those big, tall green couve, you know, that are there, the remnants at the second tier up, they're from last year. They're great. They keep going and going. But it'd be good if we could grow more food, then we could feed more people. That's not easy. Sustainability.